Zagreb travel guide in Croatia. I'd like to introduce you to Zagreb now, approximately in the next 20 minutes, based on my personal experience. I have been there for 3 days now to shoot the travel guide and also to work a bit, and now I want to tell you everything I experienced there and how to get there and so on and so forth. We start with the topic of arrival. Arrival is of course possible by car from Germany to Zagreb. We have called it here quite normally. That means from Leipzig or from Frankfurt down here via Linz, Graz, Maribor. I think that's what it's called down there, exactly, Maribor and to Zagreb. That's the fastest connection, or from Salzburg here via the highway via Villach. Slovenia, Ljubljana to Zagreb. These would also be the two things that, from my perspective, work best for the journey. Secondly, Zagreb also has an airport where you can inquire with some low-cost airlines or regular airlines where they fly to, and the second or third thing that I would like to recommend to you is the train. I accomplished that, and now there exists an extended connection originating from Stuttgart, passing through Munich and Salzburg, and terminating in Zagreb. And this is a connection. Gerd departs from Stuttgart at 8:30 in the evening and arrives in Zagreb at approximately 10:30 in the morning of the following day. So you are already on the road, approximately 14 hours. And naturally, for individuals who come, for instance, from Austria, from central Austria, you can also board in Salzburg. So you can take the train from Linz or something like that to Salzburg, and there you get on, and then you notice a slightly shorter night, but you arrive in Zagreb. So the orientation in Zagreb, when you have the complete thing, I want to show it to you briefly and provide a brief overview. Now let's examine the city map here, and I have been in Zagreb for a duration of 2 or 3 days now, I believe, and I have not even seen everything yet, and I was there during the Christmas season, and perhaps just for a very brief period of time. Zagreb claims to have one of the most beautiful Christmas markets in Europe. I wouldn't necessarily say that I could sign it right now. But the Christmas markets are spread throughout the city. One is practically showered with mulled wine if one wants to. And what I also did not know is that the local dish, which happened to be the most popular dish among visitors at the Christmas markets, was none other than hot dogs. In all variations, with all possible, I ate a hot dog with red cabbage and Swiss raclette cheese. Also, there were hot dogs in all variations, and with all variations also on buns around them, and with all variations of sausages in the middle, so cheese sausages and some other sausages. That was indeed the most popular thing there. Yes, let us acquire a brief orientation of the city to get a better understanding. Let's delve a little deeper into the whole story. Here below is the train station, here you arrive. The airport is a bit outside, so I have to check for myself where the airport is. He is here, but not so far away from the city. Then you have a sizable park in this location that leads directly to the center of the city. And this is the city center in all directions from this point. So, then, what can you see in Zagreb? And now I'm going to briefly turn on the satellite view. The initial spot to start could be here at the main square. And currently, it's naturally a bit extremely funny for me, for all the people who can speak Croatian at this moment. I will definitely not be able to pronounce everything correctly that I am telling you now. And that is the Banjo's Ivan Jelačić Square, which is named after Ban Josip Jelačić, a prominent historical figure in Croatia. Regardless of how you pronounce it, Jelačić perhaps. However, this is undoubtedly the main square. You can write it below and get a little upset that I'm doing it this way. So maybe this is where you start. Here too, there was a lot of decorations in the direction of Christmas. Then we continue up here, and now we can even see it here really nicely. And this is the market of Zagreb. And he has here, you see this here, this is the distinctive landmark, these red sun umbrellas that are easily recognizable and provide shade for visitors. Here the merchants display their goods all the time, and it is a huge market, which is also open in winter, and then there is fresh fruit and vegetables and so on and so forth, and you can buy all of that here. This is the marketplace located in Zagreb. And in this place, I would like to show you a brief overview, maybe it's even the complete story. Exactly, that is the monument of the market woman. I will show it to you again in the video now. And this market woman, as a tribute to the market women, this monument was built here, and it stands at the stairs here down. We are currently at the market. You have the option to proceed on foot to the cathedral, which is located nearby. It is here, in this vicinity. This is the lovely square with the cathedral in front and a beautiful fountain behind. At present, it is partially scaffolded due to the fact that 2020 was a very severe earthquake, causing significant damage to the area. In Zagreb, and a lot of houses have been destroyed. and this is now what currently characterizes the city. A large number of official buildings are currently under construction and are in the process of being scaffolded. Some churches are also not accessible. I would like to warn you about this, or rather not warn you. This is currently the case, that many places are being built. Unfortunately, you can't see the church towers of the cathedral completely because they are currently covered in construction work and planning, where one is simply doing it right now. So here we have the main square, then we have the market here, then we have the cathedral here. Yes, then we will proceed a bit further at this moment and we will return to the main square in this location. And now we will go up a street in this area and continue our journey. At this moment, I need to swiftly confirm which one it is. And that is specifically referring to the Ivana Tkalčića model. We provide a direct link to all of this below so you can see it. Additionally, there is a pedestrian zone here. It goes from this point to that point. And in this location, there are plenty of pubs inside. And the one you can explore extends up to this point, up to this point, up to the Hotel Academia. And here there is a pub next to the other restaurants. Simply, I would almost say that this is not the most sophisticated cuisine, but you can really go out a lot. There are many possibilities and many people are sitting outside. In winter, it is covered with films so that you can sit outside a little warm. In summer, I imagine that as a real huge life. Funny is also the name. There is a pub called Otto and Frank. I find it extremely hilarious, for instance, and there are numerous other pubs situated here in the entirety of this area. And perhaps at the current moment, this is also the circumstance with this Osgemeile. Additionally, we also have here, this is the oldest street. This is the Radiceva Street. As I mentioned, kindly note that I will provide you with all the details in writing, and in the video description, please take a brief glance as I am unable to comprehend Croatian. This is definitely a street that you can also visit. Here there are lots of boutiques and small shops, small souvenir shops, but also the occasional nice bar. And these two streets are so perfect for the nightlife, so this is more the right one down here, but the left one as well. Let's proceed. This is a shopping street called the Ilica, or Ilica for pronunciation purposes. It's a lively place with lots of shops and activities. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to handle the name either. And BTW, there's also the Suvanova shopping center. Here's one. And this is a shopping street. There is also a hotel, namely the Hotel Jägerholm. Additionally, I believe you can perceive that it is still somewhat German. And by the way, they also have a very unique Christmas market back here in this area. Very, yes, you could say it's magic. When you enter here into this street from Hotel Jägerholm, this small alley in the backyard, it is really beautiful. Now let's proceed. Then we can enter this little street, Uspinjača, or a similar name to its pronunciation, at this moment. And there is something present, and we immediately captured the pictures for you. This is the shortest, one of the shortest funiculars in the world, I would say, just to ensure safety and prevent any potential legal action. That costs 60 cents and you drive up from here. And you see these are 5 meters down here. Also, look at the scale. So that means we're talking about 40 meters. Maybe it's already 60 meters. In any case, this is the Uspinjača, and then you go up here and can then be up here. Start up. Alternatively, you can also walk up here next to the funicular. That is not a problem either. Next to it is the Stosmeier Promenade, a very beautiful forest promenade, or a very beautiful footpath promenade. Really beautiful. And now I have made a statement for you right here, and you can take a break from me, just a little bit of respite from the studio environment. Now we're going straight to Zagreb. I'm standing here in front of the Lotrščak Tower now. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. This is a bit difficult for time lock middle, but this tower we're going up together with the camera right away. There you have one of the best views over Zagreb. You are at the beginning of the upper town, and not far from here is the Museum of Broken Relationships. But prior to that, let's ascend to the tower together and have a glimpse of the view. After we have been up on the tower now with a beautiful view, I still want to check in here again. Today we might do it a bit mixed between the studio and here Zagreb Original, the Museum of Broken Relationships. And with many exhibits, sad stories, well, that's just the way it is. And also a wonderful coffee inside where you can just sit down wherever you can simply go for coffee. Also a small recommendation here behind me. And now we continue through Zagreb. And now we were together on the tower and also at the museum. Now let's take a look at this so that you still know the way. The Museum of Failed Relationships is really just around the corner. And this is inside. And now I have to commence right away. Zagreb has, as I just mentioned, there is also the Hangover Museum, but there are other peculiar and unconventional museums worth exploring. I recorded that because I stated such a metropolis with such a large number of eccentric museums is extremely uncommon. Where can I find the peculiarities? I have them right here. So specifically, there is still the Museum of the 1980s and the Museum of Selfies located next to the Hangover Museum. Museum for Broken Relationships. And next to it, there is also a cannabis museum. I just remembered that, so it's called Hangover, Cannabis, Broken Relationship. So everything in the right order, as I just said, and then we can go back to the 80s or take a selfie of it. Everything has a museum place in Zagreb, probably not everything to be taken seriously, probably not everything with the highest quality things. I haven't been inside all museums now. I didn't want to do that now, but it's quite good. So, now let's continue for a moment, and up here is a bit of the government district, and there is also the Marcus Church and the Marcus Square, and here I have been a few times, the problem that all the buildings here are parliament buildings. During our visit, everything closed, but you can see it here, and I'll show it to you after the video, but first let me show you this. The church is nicely decorated. Now I'm going to switch and inform you from the exterior about the stunning beauty of the roof of the church. Regrettably, I was unable to visit that location during my time there. But please enjoy these pictures because it was closed off by the government on that particular day when I was present. So, and then we have to continue from this point, and now we leave these pictures again and we go down here on the map, just here from Markusplatz to Steinernes Tor, which is known as the oldest city gate that is still in existence, having been preserved throughout the years. And here you have to take a moment, and I deliberately speak a little quieter, because in this city gate a lot of prayers are said. There are prayer benches and candles are lit, because during a fire, the image of Mother Mary miraculously survived at that spot, and since then it has become a holy place where people pray a lot, and one must really be quiet there. The complete thing is now here at this particular point in time. Yes, and then you have the option to go down here once again, and you are right back in the oldest street in Zagreb, the capital city of Croatia. All right, so we have determined the range of your abilities. Therefore, at this point, let us proceed to the next stage of our discussion. There is one thing that I still want to show you, which is the Nikola Tesla Museum. And this is the place where you can find it. By foot from city center, I'd say 10 mins, a quarter of an hour away, but it's definitely worth going there. To start, I will have a coffee because sadly, the Nikola Tesla Museum does not offer any coffee options. However, upon entering, you will be able to see a captivating assortment of old vehicles from history, such as airplanes, along with an array of original replicas. You can observe the space capsule, and additionally, I believe there is also an authentic one-to-one replica of the Luna, the Russian spacecraft located up there, so you can obtain an understanding of the scale. And what is also special, for those who are interested in mining or who may be afraid of mining, there is a replica tunnel system there, which has been laid 4 meters underground, where you can really inform yourself about the work in mining tunnels. There are guided tours for that. They do it very lovingly. And there are also about Nikola Tesla, about his research results. There are still lively, real demonstrations. I've only experienced one now, which was only in Croatian, but even if you can only see it in Croatian, that's enough, because look here now, this flash that was generated there between two metals, it's done like that and really live. If you don't tear it, you get a little scared. And there are also English demos, but in this case there was only one English tunnel tour and one Croatian demo of these results by Nikola Tesla. He did contribute to the radio and the electric motor and all sorts of things. Everything he has been involved in is upheld in there. He was not born in Zagreb, he studied in Graz, but he continues to play an important role in the city despite not being a native of Zagreb. He also has several streets there, and that is definitely the Nikola Tesla Museum. And perhaps before I forget, the entire building is also exciting because it was built in the 1920s or early 20th century. Built there in the 20th century as a trade fair hall, and that was one of the first exhibition halls that were completely built in wood. So that means it's one of the older wooden structures, right? Purpose-built buildings which are there then where you enter. Absolutely stunning. Admission, please do not hold me to it, but I believe the admission fee is €4 per person. And then you enter that location. Good. So now we're making our way to the opposite end of the city once more. I would also like to exhibit pictures, specifically of this large park. On the one hand, there is the Maksimir Park, where you can walk on huge paths, and it is almost as big as Central Park in New York City, which is renowned for its vast size and beautiful landscapes. Many lakes. Here you can see, for instance, a lake. Here you can see a lake. Sometimes in summer there are pedal boats for rent. Here's a little more lake. And here is the zoo. I hadn't visited him now because it was already late afternoon. Admission is also, I believe, €4, but I'm doing quite well. And then you can also walk through the zoo here. This is then a bit like Made with Islands here. Very, very beautiful. And here is the entrance to the park. And in the park, if you are there during the summer season, you will find at least 2 pleasant restaurants to dine at. On one hand, up here on the parking hill. Let me check if you can see it a bit. Yes, you can see it. You have a beautiful view here. It is also open in winter, and there is also a restaurant here in the front. It is also open in winter. And that's it. The Central Park of Zagreb is a beautiful park. One place I haven't had a chance to visit yet is the cemetery situated at the back of this park. He is supposed to be extremely well known. I did not pay him a visit. Furthermore, something else I have not had the opportunity to see, but would have been interested in, is the cable car transportation system in this area. And you have the option to drive up the mountain in this area. And you could either walk down from that location, as there is also a hotel situated on the top. You can also take a leisurely stroll and find restaurants, as you can see here. And there are also other things, like, for example, here is a castle that you can visit during your trip. In my view, I would say Wednesday. Once again, I'm referring to the stuff. Medvedgrad, the Grand Medvedgrad Castle. And you can also check it out here. That was pretty much a bit too far for me to go for 3 days. I didn't get a chance to visit that. And what's more, because I can't provide you with any pictures, I can only show you one picture of the entrance now. Zagreb possesses an extensive tunnel system, which was also utilized during World War II in order to safeguard the population. This tunnel system has also been reconstructed. Regrettably, I couldn't provide a demonstration of that to you. Unfortunately, you couldn't go in right now. There are several entrances. The tunnels of Zagreb are definitely very, very famous. And also, please take a moment to glance in that direction and carefully examine the entirety of the matter at hand. Oh yes, how to get around in the city. I wrote it down for myself. And there is a very, very dense tram network. The current cost of a tram ride is 53 cents. At present, we are discussing the conclusion of the year 2023. Then you can do a lot on foot if you want to walk a bit. My personal best was, I believe, a total of 27,000 steps in a single day. That was a large amount of steps recorded on the pedometer, but you did not have to excessively exert yourself like I did. Then, of course, you can also utilize a Next Bike, which is a station for renting Next Bikes. After all, one can be very proud to have a Leipzig product, which was developed here. There is also a Next Bike in Zagreb. One can use it there, but there it is done with stations. That doesn't work like in some other cities where you can just leave the Next Bike anywhere. There you have to bring it back to a station and then you can take one there, and it doesn't cost much money either. I don't have it exactly in mind right now. I think clearly below €1 for an hour, but please don't hold me to it. In any case, it is very practical because you can quickly drive from one end to the other. At the train station is still the botanical garden, but it didn't make sense in winter now. He is here. The market in summer is guaranteed to be very, very beautiful. He is right next to the train station. That is also very, very nice. And now let's talk about art again. There are a pair of art galleries. The one is currently open, and it was initially opened in the 1930s. This is an art gallery. The locals also call it a mosque because of its appearance, but it is not a mosque. At the moment, there is an ongoing exhibition inside, and there is another art hall located here in the main park, namely here, which is also an art pavilion. However, it is currently closed, also due to construction work. My assumption is that this closure is a result of the earthquake that took place. And I want to show you a picture, very quickly, of the Greek church. Now, I just have to find it quickly, because that's already bizarre. You go inside this church. And then it is entirely supported on the inside, how should I say, with additional supports, because it has become dilapidated due to the devastating earthquake that occurred in the region. Now I have to wait for a moment here. I hope I do not cause you any trouble. This is an Orthodox church, precisely. However, it is worth taking a look here, but what you see in the picture is not like that, because the entire interior is supported directly by supports that are visible in the image. Because so much was destroyed by the earthquake, and they are currently working on repairing everything everywhere. There are beautiful places, you can see it here briefly on the Google Maps, where there are not only restaurants below, but also can be found. Look over here this way. So there are also numerous restaurants scattered all throughout Nikola Tesla Street. Moreover, there are many restaurants, cafés in the city center, and it is extremely, extremely busy. And for a city with a population of 770,000 residents, that is truly a beautiful story. That was definitely not the entirety of the contributions from Zagreb. This is what I observed. It is definitely worth visiting that place. It is worth visiting for a minimum of 2 days. 3 are certainly better, or even 4. And for those who like to go out in any way, Zagreb is the right place. An output keyword. Another thing I forgot, and that is a restaurant tip, where you should definitely go, namely here next to the train station there is a restaurant which is not listed on Google Maps. You should check it out for a unique dining experience in that area. However, at this location you will find restaurant Uspinjača. It is a highly authentic Croatian restaurant that serves traditional Croatian cuisine, just as its name suggests. The meat platter for 2 individuals is priced at 43 euros, but cevačići, a more traditional dish, is considerably more affordable and offers a taste of the nation. Here you can certainly go. You should definitely go and eat. It is a very, very beautiful store that you must visit. Here you can see the tunnel entrance on the map. Here it looks like inside the tunnels, but as I said, they are currently closed, even though it says open. Perhaps everything has changed rapidly once more. Excellent. Additionally, if you have objectives, or if you have cities where we must absolutely create a travel guide, then you can also indicate that, either indicate it to me or indicate it in the comments. Or if I forgot something from Zagreb, or if I pronounce something wrong, where the probability is very high, write it to me in the comments as well. As mentioned, if you now look at the video description, we will provide you with the sites linked with a Google Maps link so that you know and see everything. And I wish you a pleasant day, and I currently recommend the travel guide of Swinucci because it is also a stunning travel guide and a lovely travel destination for the summer. Or from Wismar, I was present there for you in winter, but it's a great city that I can also highly recommend to you.